relaxing, just rain a while ago. I just want to share about my simple hobby because our grocery stores right now are bombarded with ultra processed food, and even our whole foods produced are mostly genetically modified and bombarded with fertilizer, inorganic foods, and due to mass production, our soil is depleted. That's why I'm finding ways to make a habit to grow my own crops, grow our own vegetables at least, you know. So if you see in my back, those are, we call it sayote in Philippines. And, I tried the hydroponics before and tried to make some experiments. So anyway, just to show you a little bit about what I'm doing as one of my hobby when I get off from work. So this is my little garden. So I just plant here lettuce and pechay. They call this acorn squash. You see that one? Acorn squash. I have here lettuce, different kind of lettuce. I plant it in the soil before I plant it through hydroponics. Yep. Tomatoes. This is a squash. Some potato, but those potatoes, they just grow. Making some compost also here. Yeah. These are my compost. Making some compost. Also making some compost here. Try to gather. Today it's just rain, so I just gather some rainwater to water my plants instead of using those water from Ebmod. This is tomato. This is my hydroponic plant. We call this, in America, they call it water spinach. In Philippines, we call them kangkong. Yeah. So these are hydroponics. Look at this. It's just water. Anyway, I can open later to show you. So this one, I found out that this really grow. I tried to plant this in soil, but they really grow through water. And this hydroponics, I put some solution into this, but these are organic solutions. And look at this. This is also kangkong or sweet, or how do you call this? Sweet is water spinach in English. So they grow the same as this, but look, this also has water, but because of probably small space and small water, that's why they don't grow that much. So see, I plant them on the same time, and look at the difference. See? And I try to plant those in soil. But look, I water this every day, twice a day, but they don't grow. They just grow like that. So I plant some pechay also here, This one, to minimize the space, make this, this liquid container for washing your clothes. I use it. Yeah. Let's go there. So look at the difference, see? Probably this is almost a month already. Yeah, look at the difference there. So this one I just experiment, but I will be making two to three of this. This one is ready for harvest actually. I will harvest this afternoon to mix with my salmon head. I bought a cheap salmon head this morning and I can mix this one. Okay, yeah. So, oh, by the way, this one, let me show you. Where is that one? I cannot see the. This just grow here, you know. This one is pumpkin. Pumpkin. Yeah, ready for Halloween. They're not that big though. So those are lettuce. So I try to plant different kind of lettuce. Look at this. I don't know, you know. I just bought seeds that has a variety of lettuce in it. So yeah, so it looked like. Wish flower. Some pronounced stuff. It is laundry detergent. Yeah, these are the container for detergent. So I cut them. Of course, I wash them well. And then actually I plant pechay here before. And I have better crops using this one than planting in the bed, garden beds. You know why? Because I have hard time. I have a lot of snails here. And yeah, they have hard time eating those lettuce. But snails, the pechay, yeah, they eat them. But when I put it here, yeah, they're safe. This one I just planted recently. I did not water them much, that's why they are not that healthy. Anyway, I'm busy for some time, that's why I was able to take care of this. But this one I really focus on this because I'm experimenting on here. I try to water this 2-3 times a day, but still they don't grow that big, you know. See, I'm even using a sun for, we don't use dryer actually. We have dryer, but as much as possible we use sun to dry our clothes. So that's how different compared to this one, hydroponics. Now I'm gonna show you how it looked like here. Maybe let me reverse this one. Maybe you have heard already about hydroponics. So this one, just using water. to grow these plants. Yeah. So this is my hobby. I try to uh, grow my own vegetables without using any fertilizer. So as much as possible, I try to grow them in the soil. But this time, I found out some organic solutions to use for hydroponics. I even saw in one of the reels in Facebook that you can use banana peeling to raise those water spinach, or we call them kangkong. And I haven't tried it yet. Of course, I put some there, but you know, maybe I will try something that without solution, just uh, banana leaves, or they use actually banana trunk. But they said you can also use banana peelings. So that will be my next experiment. So as much as possible, uh, I want to at least raise my own vegetables, at least for personal consumption, for my family's personal consumption. What I want those flowers, Loki. I don't know what flowers you're talking about. Yeah, we don't have that flowers. We have a cymbidium there, which is yeah. I think I need to take care a little bit. But anyway, my point here is that really we are living in a time, especially if you live in a developed country. Actually, poor people are the ones suffering because we just eat. You know, I grow in a country, Philippines, where food is limited. Grapes, apples are just for my eyes only. Those are only for me for rich people. You know. But when I come here, you can eat anything, and because you can eat anything, you know, including processed food, we are we are aware that we are endangering our health already. So right now, we are living in a time where the chronic diseases especially are increasing tremendously, and people are, you know, of course, one big factor is food, but that's not the only factor. You know, there's what we call chemical things that we need to consider, has something to do with the food. Exercise, movement is also very important. We're living in a time where we have cars, and you know, especially if you're working in an office where you just walk from your house to your car and car to your work, and busy all the time, and also stress, you know, emotional support is lacking, you know. uh, I'm actually a mailman. I'm delivering mails in different places, and there are houses, you know, I deliver on area where rich people are there, you know, big houses, but nobody's there, you know. I've been delivering mails for months, and I didn't see even you know, one person during my time of delivery. But when I deliver to areas where, you know, in one corner, you know, like one house, actually it's four families are living there, you know. And sometimes I saw kids playing outside, you know, and uh, some families, they gather in front because their doors are facing each other, you know. Like for example, this corner and that corner, they have the same door facing each other. So I think it's a good structure that they come to know each other. You know, I see them, you know, talking together, and uh, I think even though they're poor, you can say they're poor, living in a two apartment, bedroom apartment, but they have community, you know. Several times I see kids, I see families gathering like that, and we cannot find that anymore, especially in places like areas where develop one, rich people, you know. The more people have money, the more they get distance to each other. So these are things that we need to consider when we talk about health: food, movement, and emotional support. So yeah, starting with the food, yeah, that's why I'm trying to make a habit, you know, after work, I try to spend some time doing some kind of gardening to raise at least enough, it, just even just for our family's personal consumption. For me, the best way to have the nutrients that you want in your body is you grow your own food, you know. Even though we eat whole foods, foods from nature, the nutrients that we're getting from these foods we're buying in the grocery stores cannot support the necessary uh, nutrients we need from our body, for our body. Why? Because, you know, because of mass production, our soil are depleted. So even though we eat whole foods, sometimes it's not enough to the nutrients we're getting is insufficient. Yeah, that's why I think better to raise your own at least vegetables and fruits, and use compost as much as possible. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I don't do fertilizer also or insecticides. You know, even though sometimes when I harvest my pechay, they are not that perfect. You know, but for me, it's still best to eat those than the one that I bought in the grocery store. Also, when I go to farmers market, uh, the vegetables we bought from the farmers market, they get rotten easily than the one in the grocery stores. This shows that really for the vegetables to last long, they put something in there. You know, that's why they last long. And in the farmer market, those are small people, you know, they, you know, mostly they grow their own crops. They use minimal, at least minimal, you know, fertilizers and insecticides. So even though their crops are not, they don't not that last long, but they are best because at least they are less dangerous. And I think for me, they're more nutritious than the one you buy in the grocery stores. And when it comes to fruits, also the same. You know, we buy fruits that is uh, available in each month. It's supposed to be seasonal, and for them to raise fruits that is not seasonal, they have no choice but to apply probably greenhouse, but you know, genetically modified uh, those fruits, and that's why you can see the difference. They are not really that sweet. They are not really that. Uh, delicious. The natural taste are not really there, you know. So that's why when it comes to fruit, of course, as much as possible, we have to prefer buying those fruits that are seasonal. You know? Yeah, I just want to share that and just want to share how important for us to grow our own crops, living in this kind of country, developed country where, you know, the the availability of of course, you know, so much food out there, but the availability of organic foods and grass-fed meat are very, very, you know, of course you can still buy, but expensive, you know. If you're just working in Walmart, yeah, I know you need to be healthy, but you know, we cannot afford we cannot afford to really buy those meats. I see those delivery, free delivery. No, I mean not really free delivery. But when you buy a certain bulk of organic or grass-fed meat, you can have some discount for the delivery or even sometimes free delivery, so long as you are a regular customer. But I see how expensive they are, and I told it to my wife. You know, why don't we order, you know, organic meat or grass-fed meat? Not, yeah, expensive. You know. So that's why it's so hard to maintain your health when living in this kind of environment. So no choice. People have to go to the market and buy whatever is there. You know. I think when I go to Costco, I don't even know if it's grass-fed, but it says organic beef. You know, the only thing that I saw there that is organic is uh, the the ground beef. There's an organic ground beef, but still you're not sure, right? And we have a friend who live in LA who who grow his own uh, animals and sell them, but also he buy the animals from slaughterhouse also and sell them. He tried to he has a business, lechon business, and he himself said that, you know, it's so hard because I told him, can you kill one of your cow and then sell it to us, you know, because I know, you know, he raised them uh, organically, you know, letting them eat uh, grass. Although they're not that uh, fat, they're skinny, but he told me, actually, it's so hard to raise cow completely grass-fed. Why? Because we lose money. He said, you know, if we only feed our cows with completely grass-fed, you know, it's so hard for them to gain weight. So we have no choice but to feed them sometimes uh, grains, corn, and some feeds, you know, before we kill them, you know, to sell them to the market. That's how difficult it is to buy completely grass-fed, grass-finished beef. You know, when we say grass-fed, grass-finished is they're eating grass when they were born up to the time that you kill them for to sell. So it's so hard to completely have a grass-fed, grass-finished beef. But even though it's hard, at least we concentrate on some other stuff like vegetables. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. As much as possible, although we still buy in the market, but not all. But my goal is to plant at least variety of even small amount of each one where we can at least supply the vegetable daily needs. Although it's hard, but you know, better than completely buying in the market, because sometimes it's time consuming if you're busy also. That's why I make it as a habit. You know, for me, I think there's no such thing as busy. No matter how busy are, we still have time for everything. So after work, it's also very good for relaxation. You know, instead of exercising, that could be an exercise. Planting is an exercise, and also you get exposed to nature. You know, we have to be outside because there's a lot of benefit by just being outside. The sun, we thought we just get vitamin D from the sun, but no. Aside from vitamin D, we also get infrared, which penetrates our skin, which is very, very beneficial for us to strengthen our immune system, to have a better sleep in the evening, because that triggers the melatonin in our body. You know, the mitochondria, the powerhouse of our cells, we call it we call them mitochondria. You know, get stressed also sometimes. So even though you eat the right food, but the body can hardly process that. That's why we still don't have enough energy. Why? Because the mitochondria is not functioning well. The sun emits infrared that penetrates to the cell, to the mitochondria, and that mitochondria helps in making melatonin. Melatonin is not only for it's not only a sleep hormone. Of course, it helps you to have a better sleep in the evening, improve your circadian rhythm, but also it's like when you have a car, melatonin is just like how do you call this? The one that that prevents the engine of getting hot. Coolant, yeah. Mitochondria become a coolant to our. Oh no, I mean melatonin become a coolant to our mitochondria. You know, so our mitochondria function better if there's a coolant. Coolant is the melatonin, and sun is really of great help. So by just spending at least 30 minutes from the sun, especially in the morning and afternoon, is really very beneficial. If you put the benefit of the sun in a capsule, it will be a very expensive medicine, you know. And also fresh air, especially if you are around trees and plants. So we need to breathe fresh air. And air, you know, close to plants, you know, plants emit a chemical called phytoncides. These phytoncides helps strengthen our immune system. You know, these phytoncides is volatile. You know, the plants emit them to protect themselves. But when we breathe them, it's good for our health. That's why in Japan they have this so-called uh, forest bathing. And through forest bathing, they uh, they become healthier. You know, so they bring these people in the forest, the CEO, you know, and at least for an hour, you know, doing breathing and exposing themselves to the forest, and then, you know, that helps strengthen the immune system, their mood, and many things. Just being outside, you know, and also putting yourself, uh, uh, we call it grounding. I don't know if you can see my feet. So we call this grounding. Okay. Okay, just stepping on the ground for even just 30 minutes a day helps uh, helps lessen inflammation. We get electrons from the ground. It's like the ground is just like a battery that recharges us, okay, and helps us live healthier and helps us reduce our inflammation in the body. So by just going outside, spending 30 minutes outside, you get already 3 benefits by just simply going outside. Anyway, that's it for now. Have a blessed day, everyone. See you again. I just do this once in a while if I'm in the mood to do live streaming. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for visiting my channel. And I see you again next time. Good night, everyone. Oh, good morning, everyone. How can I stop this one? I even forgot how to stop this. I haven't do live for some time. All right. All right. Good morning, everyone, and see you again next time.